Shealyn Visser is a mom, an elementary school teacher. She's a children's ministry leader and a first-time author from right here in Ottawa, Canada. And her book is called Loved No Matter What. And really, it's a children's book about grace and the freedom found in being loved. So, Shealyn, welcome.
Thank you. It's an honor to be with you today.
This is exciting. I always love being able to talk with and highlight people in our own region who are creating amazing things for God and for His glory. And I do want to ask, I mean, you started helping out with children's ministry a long time ago. I think you were a teenager, and you just never stopped. That age group obviously means a lot to you. So now as a teacher, also for that age group, had you always thought about writing a book? Was that always something that you're thinking like, this is the future, this is the progression from where I'm at today?
Well, to be honest, it wasn't even really on my radar, but I received a few words from God that were really specific and really clear about this. And so that kind of planted this God dream in my heart to write a book, to communicate His grace to kids in a way that they can understand, because it is a big abstract topic. So that's kind of where this dream began.
Okay, but for people who are like, I've heard something that I think is from God, how do you know? Like, what happened in your life that you're like, okay, I can't ignore this?
I wasn't even in the room. There was a minister in town and my husband was there, and he spoke a very specific word, like named me, and said that I would be a published author and publish books that would resource the kingdom of God. So
that's cool.
It was very specific, and then it happened again and again. So it was one of those things where I really felt God calling me to do this, and I didn't want to ignore it.
Yeah. Well, you did say that grace is, again, one of these topics that's hard, I think, for people to understand, which may be why some people have a hard time even drawing near to Christ, because it's like, what? But what is it for kids that you want them to really experience about grace?
So the way that I frame grace for kids is this idea of you are loved no matter what, right? No matter how many mistakes you make, no matter who you are, what you've done, no matter how quirky you are, you can be loved just as you are. So that's really was the basis of this book.
Yeah. And the illustrations are so fun. They're so good. Really. And actually also Ottawa, which is very cool. Yeah. Did you want to say anything to that?
Yeah. So Naomi Edwards, she is one of my friends from church, and she's so talented. She does animation, and she was really excited to work on this project and bring it to life.
Yeah, she did. So there's actually, you have two boys.
Yes.
But there's a girl, the character is a girl, a very spunky girl.
Yeah.
Is she modeled after anybody?
I think it's kind of Naomi's childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I love
a little bit. But yeah, we kind of wanted her to be around that age 5. So she's actually missing a tooth, right? Yeah. But yeah, she's really sweet and just being herself. And that's really the heart of it.
Okay. Well, we'll get to some of those kind of being herself qualities. I want to talk about those in more detail. But I do find that each page is like this little nugget of wisdom. It almost reads like Proverbs, you know? Is that something that was hard for you to find? Did that come naturally? Where did those come from, the inspiration for those?
So the inspiration for this book really came from the Grace-Based Parenting book by Dr. Tim Kimmel. He has written a ton of amazing parenting books, and if you haven't read them, I really recommend it. But he has this grace-based blueprint, and it's a house model, and it has 17 components to it of how you can create a grace-based home for your family. And so I actually initially wrote a whole series, and I wrote a book for each component. And that was in the car on the way to my in-laws when my baby was 3 months old. And it was just like this download from heaven. But I thought pitching a whole series was a bit much.
I mean, one thing leads to another.
So I combined it into one book. So each page actually goes with one component of the grace-based blueprint. So this book really goes hand in hand with grace-based parenting.
Cool.
So what I love about it, it's kind of like Bluey when you're watching as a parent. There's something for you in it too. And so when you're reading this book to your kids, of course, there's great truth in there that's going to help them with their identity and their value and their purpose and their freedom to just live their great big life. But there's also a lot for us as parents to kind of remind us of like, oh, right, I need to give my kids those freedoms. Oh, right, yes, I need to do that too.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the heart of it, that the whole family can grow in grace together.
So obviously with this marriage between what the parents are reading, what the kids are reading, this is a great conversation starter, parents and kids. Each page definitely can lead to a discussion. I'm pointing to this, obviously, if you're watching on YouTube. This is the grace-based parenting book. We'll actually put the links in the video too. But there's a couple in there that I think are interesting. How can a parent help their child live out some of these on this page? And I'm going to break them down as an example, because these are a few that stuck out to me. The make a big difference no matter how young you are, which is a parenting kind of pull out practical for that, do you think?
Yeah, I think like that one is really spotting and speaking to potential in your kids and looking at your children and identifying the God gifts that are in them and like chiseling out, right? Like the statue of David, right? Yeah. Like you've got that piece of rock, you're chiseling out the gold that's inside of them and really pulling the best out of them. So, I mean, practically that could look like bringing them with you when you're going to the food bank and, bring them with you in making that donation or just encouraging them like, okay, today I want you to find someone who you don't normally play with and who's all by themselves. And today you're going to play with them at recess and you're going to make a big difference in their lives. Like just continuing to help them learn how to spot those opportunities too.
Yeah. Okay. What about wait for what's better and best? Because I think that's a hard one for us too.
That is a really hard one. And so this is that concept of discipline and kind of learning self-regulation skills and learning patience, right? And these are important character traits to grow in our kids. And so my kids love sugar like every child. But sometimes we don't have that lollipop or have that candy at wherever, I don't know, a store when somebody's offering it because we know we're going out for ice cream later.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah. Come on.
It's learning how to not just give in to that instant gratification in a culture where we're really used to just getting what we want when we want it.
Yeah.
So it's an important skill.
We have to really trust that God does know what's best for us and he does have something better for us.
That's right.
Yeah, it's so good. Okay. The last one I want to ask about is make a humongous mega mess.
This has happened many times in my home. I'm sure it's happened in your home
as a teacher too, I'm sure.
Yeah. And I mean, we're not talking about when they're making a mess on purpose. Like that's a learning opportunity where we can come alongside them. But grace is really showing up in those weak moments and coming alongside of our kids and helping them learn and grow from those mistakes. And so it's not just letting your kids get off scot-free every time something goes wrong, but okay, you made a huge mess. Let's clean it up together and let's make this right again. So and in a grace-based home, kids should have freedom to make mistakes and not be walking on eggshells all the time. So that's where that one came from.
Would the biggest lesson for parents listening right now be to have more grace in their home? Is that a big one? Because I feel like as you're talking, I'm like, man, the pressure's on the parent, right? The freedom is in the book for the child, but I do think the responsibility does fall on the parent. Do you want to kind of end with any of the thoughts there?
Yeah, I think grace is what makes Christianity unique from every other religion. And so as Christian families, we really want to have this atmosphere of grace for our kids, because when we show our kids grace, it's going to point them towards the love and grace that God gives to them. And so that's really the heart of it. We want to parent our kids the way that God parents us.
Yeah, so good. Well, congratulations.
Thank
Very
you.
exciting. I hope there's more to come from you. We can be
too.
praying for you and supporting you. Shealyn Visser. Again, it's called Love No Matter What.